Hi everybody! So, the song in the background is my song, Höki Pöme. Alright, number linkit so tashi delete, samalotish deleted play. Okay, welcome to yet another episode of No Filter. Taringi episode the season 2 episode Sumba, the third episode chagi yore. Taringi episode la wanzu keranzo changma taring guest simusinge changma mangche supegi yore kingi yezang keranzo de simusiga legi yore. Ani simusiga tujitakta taring live di simatuna YouTube nanglo lai siya yore. So I want to thank everybody who's going to watch us live today. And I also want to thank everyone who's going to watch us later on YouTube. For people who have messaged me saying that, Acha, I cannot make it on time, my life to samar, it's totally okay. No Filter, yes, we started with a lot of viewers during the lockdown. Lockdown gi thuzi kapsula miss that's how man nangla de dol ha leva mi mangbo singe peyore lockdown kapsula in yang No Filter is now moving beyond just viewers. We don't really care how many viewers are watching us. All we care is what kind of content we are able to produce or let our viewers see. So nganzu gi No Filter dita season 2 le chare season 2 gi taring episode sumbare nganzu our viewers lil haga nganzu gi kiranzu gi samlo tangdang kiranzu gi mize nanglo la chik lobjung chik khare nya ba tuk state huai na ding nganzu gi mi re samgido so nganzu No Filter tis chik dicha sarta gen ro sarta bacha ne tis ya gen ro da number of stingore. And then we also have a lot of viewers from other places, so I will continue mixing my languages, and I really want all my viewers who are very tawa thakpoyo namgyu chik phekerang gyabro nang sung dingi jo this show di kiranzo che to mare, so please ngoni masiro nang I have a very tough guest heading on so the guest pepe jire kalore kanzu gi pepe nedang che to hal leba kule mangbu ganye jire. You all know her as someone named Chemi Lhamo. So Chemi Lhamo is going to be our guest for today. And then we are going to ask Chemi Lhamo a lot of questions. Some of the questions they want to morangi lega da dewa yugure lo chunga so kisi kiranzo taring tuze yuna whole interview but dero nang you will get to learn a lot from a young activist, an influencer like her. And pugline na kiranzo chik mo nang shin chinde deba yuna lamdun da wajik ragire so kiranzo Korean sheji ko nyeng minde ani sugi sula because tido sonda sugi sula kadukja lagdu odende jibu mata bache tis thenda yo tis leba yarge doya yo interview indi zero nang taringi interview din lobjung shu ragire and sharda shola ya No Filter style la ganzo tis tiwa chiking is this chik kalore mimangchani le to gala tiba rumors ko la ina Chemi Lhamo ko la nganzo gi chik rumors do chik ko moran taring clear out chigre. So let's not waste any time and we will call our guest for today, Chemi Lhamo la peronang shuenda. So I'm gonna wait for Chemi Lhamo and di do de to gala shege tang shaura. Hi Chemi, how are you?
Alive
I'm
and
playing the
grateful.
song in the background for you.
Oh,
This is my song.
yes.
Nike kudo Chemi.
Yeah, cold.
Okay, this is yatang shora. So tangodila, everybody who is watching us live right now or who's joining us, This is our guest today for No Filter, chemi lhamo. And it's on my emoji now, like kisi kiranzo. Check, if you are enjoying this interview, emoji through the comments through the loves chinan did it. Tadi tangbodila chemi lhamo, welcome to our show. How do you feel today?
Alive and grateful to Janaz.
I'm grateful.
Pleasure to
Thank
be
you.
here.
Thank you. 아니, 지미, 당 안중이가 배봐라. 아니,
Yeah.
I know, 니가 배봐도 벽에랑 가야지, 일단 믿은 적이 미유신기 요때, I want your work to also be known in other communities like Bhutan and Nepal. So, 먼저 키시, 빠라빠라라. 벽에다 인지되도 걸라. I understand that 먼저기 비디오디, 미 따와 탁보인데기 crop chini look 시기래. So, 굳이 그냥, 샘숑마 차라나, right? Ngalaina mangbu
Oh,
chungsare and ngengwe ni kerang la warning to you that
yeah.
All right, so let's begin with the first and a very basic question. Everybody who knows you, who follow you on Instagram or other social media, but people who just got to know you, can you tell where you're from and where you're originally from? Tanda kawaye, any, kirang kesa kawaye, just like very brief intro.
Oh, yeah. 네, 파마 like 발라촌에 공부네래. 아니 암라데 의자네래와. 이미네 I was born ngate kesate Belagobi
Ooh,
like gay good.
Belagovi,
represent.
yeah.
이미네 lokta ta tenso ganga the Tamil Nadu Uti lokta inji lokta jojui.
Oh,
So
nice.
I grew up in Uti. So actually you speaking about the language is very relevant because ngalo chukti ta inge ran jander inge ran jander wani phege de ngone chena de nupchola le cheni ya getros. So people who say like chigela drone temba chigire da dan sisi pebe gi shiga dan temba chigire da dan I'm like no. If you want to try, if you try, you can learn, and so it's possible.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because ngani arila nitong gula ledo wala I was performing in a concert nga inji chipu gyamba and gi kapsula ya nyegi Quran zola khari shiba laba yilana nga phege mangs jang ni ligi nga pheshe mangs jangi di lo chukchik chungi na nga ra phege ha leba yarge tosong so kiran lava gaji you have the passion jang ya phege jangdo kapsu nyunju showayna kola yarge tangni sobjo gyamni yarge tangro nang semshu chani ramalug labche phege jangdo deba dia la ru res shenda ngari chime what do you think?
I think, going back to if we go back to the drawing board of the real question, it's because we don't have a country. And so how do we work towards making sure that we go back? Everybody's speaking perfect Tibetan. We don't speak English.
Amazing. Yes. Di dembar da gaja pyo nangla yona nga ranzo tanda pyo la kia yona gyaja gya nga zo pyo ge chu gyu yugire, ra? Pyo nangi ningje nga ranzo pyo pa pingya so kisi gyaga le do la hindi kia la gyaya pek haku chigido wa karshi koranzo pyo la kia ro. Ani nga zo gi kiranzo gyaga ge shingi mindu ngo chaya re dendel malaba che ko kia la di ko koran chanlong chisa digi ni yarge tuya yor, ra? Ta tichini senju nangi pama cho gi ti shu gyaya da nga ranzo lengen da re Let's start with a positive note. Dippe yakbo chungsung. Chige kala denge pugu lo chunju dinzo kesi pyoge janya gi ing yona mutuni kale gyabro nang. Ani nganzo achimila mo ta ache shikandu nanshi pyoge nima yagu mashim danda yarge dugina we are living example. So kiranzo yarge tuya imbarwa. Okay, tadi yagu chungsa. Ani chimila mo kirang Belagovi ni. Belagovi lana Canada ke yirwa Tamil marwa.
ನಮಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗೊತ್ತು nga Tamil ke yaga shinge Kannada
Tamil ke because you were from Uti, you studied in Uti. Then so could you say something in Tamil for us?
எல்லாருமே வணக்கம் நான் இங்க வந்துட்டு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கேன்
ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கா I thought this was Rajinikanth style. Okay, so Chimi, we have a few questions and they came directly from the audience. So it's not from the show. It's very raw. It's from the audience. So now the audience will also include people who like you and people who also I won't say
Don't like me.
dislike, but people
It's
who
okay.
don't know you well enough and they judge you, right? So
Mm.
you have these questions, and I'm going to tell all my viewers that the questions are going to get pretty intense, mas la. So stay tuned. Also, towards the end of the show, Chimi la morang la nawa dunye follower fan chigi morang life la leche morang rangi tiwa chik kirang la kuya gi nganje kogap to yo. So yeah, all right. So Chimi, second question, Ra. Kira la peba gita halewa yabong washing yore. When was that point where you felt like, uh, you know, I think it was kira laptala nima president kudo wala, and then
Mm-hmm.
the Chinese students were literally trolling you, the ones who support their government, right? I mean, we can't speak for every Chinese student. So
Mm-hmm.
when did you start noticing these messages, these hate messages, and when did it become serious? You know, usually we
Mm-hmm.
know that there's trolling, and then there's trolling that becomes really serious. Could you walk us through a little bit of that experience you had when you were appointed president of your university, college, and then just a little
Mm-hmm.
bit about that, yeah.
Yeah. So this happened in 2019, and it was actually during the Losar time. And I was really sad because I love spending Losar with my family and my community, but I had to spend that time campaigning. So I was on the streets of my school and campus saying, "Hey, vote for Jimmy! Like, vote for our team!" Like doing all of the
Yeah,
politics and
yeah.
politician stuff. And I was doing that in my full chuppah.
Oh,
And because it was Losar, so I had to celebrate somehow.
yeah.
And it was great because it was 3 days of campaigning, and then the last day, which was the Seo Sumba,
Mm,
you would get the results.
yeah,
And just before the results came out, we had already finished campaigning, so everybody has already voted.
yeah.
All of a sudden, my phone would not stop pinging. It was just constant vibration. It just felt like my phone was getting really hot. And then I
Mm,
saw there's a lot of comments on my Losar post saying like Chinese flag, Chinese characters, and I didn't realize.
mm,
And I thought, oh, just trolls. Am I getting hate from China? And I posted a story actually on Instagram.
mm.
And then that moment, somebody responded to me personally and said, no, BITCH, I'm here. Um, and then I realized, oh, it's no longer just trolling. This is
Yeah,
serious. This is
yeah.
someone here, because there was also death threats and rape threats and all these other
Oh
messages
my
I was
God.
getting there. That was like, oh, there's a bullet that's already made for you that will go through your body.
Shame on me.
And then they were doing a lot of like personal attacks. And one guy even wrote a poem about how he was going to rape me.
Rape you.
Uh, uh, and
Oh my
so then
God.
I realized, okay, this is not what we regularly get. And because
Hmm.
we've already been activists, we're already organizers in many
Yeah.
other spaces, we
Yeah.
know trolls. We
Hmm.
know 50 cents, the 5 cent army. But this
Yeah.
was not just, hey, free like China, da 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 da. It was, Chimmy, I'm going to come and punch you in your face when I see you. And then I was like, okay, so now it's time to get serious. And some kids actually came to my office and tried to get across the front desk and said, we want to do a petition. We don't want her as our president. She's not allowed to run as a candidate. Da, 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 da. She's a free Tibet activist. It's not possible that she can run for president. And then even the front desk staff and everybody all started panicking because they all really thought that my life was in danger.
Oh my
And
God.
then everybody got involved, from the school security to eventually undercover, RCMP, CSIS, FBI, all of these people got involved.
That is.
So yeah,
I'm
zero to
glad.
100 real quick.
Yeah. Shinang. And also, I also want to let all my Tibetan viewers know that. 당가디 벽에 나게 올라인다. 디 네트리 먼저 배가 상만 하고 오르다. 이나 둑다 바유딘만 믿은 줄 하고 오말. 디치니 인지 갭니 콘솔 하고 해야지 개침보래. 다 콘줄기 딘데 칼리게 잡쳔보 코란즈 슝라 칼리 갭교 치니 치게 칼라데 도갈라 베베기 깨지 만님 도야기 코란줄 딘데기 콘솔 신앙서부 칼리 마랍도 부지 여기 간저디 치료를 때운 거라마다 벽에 나로 갭되는 콘솔 하고 오말. So this is a tanda chimla mongani siduen the dewa yogi kisi tiwa do the lane le do wal engineer gya baina duk tin mala midin zo embe red wal and ha ko de ke chumbu da ani ngarang ki pakso la khaji dik tam to yadi ngarang ki ngarang lenge le sambu de peba jembe chane. So okay, so Chimi, hats off for you to be able to be so patient And I want all my viewers who are watching us right now from other parts of the world, like say Bhutan and from Nepal, when you're watching this can trigger emotions because you might not know so much about the communist, tactics. So Chimi Lamo is in Toronto, and when she became the president, or she was nominated, it went to that level where the Chinese students were trolling her to like for her to back off. That was the level of the bullying tactic, we would
Intimidation,
say,
yeah,
intimidation, we
intimidation,
would say.
harassment tactics, yeah.
But I'm glad you stood up. I'm glad you continued standing, and here you are, one of the most known faces as an activist. Now, my third question is just a link, Ra. When we talk about activism, you have so many activists in our community, like Tenzin Chidila. I also think Sange Kyap, he's doing a great job in Toronto. In your case, you've also, been out and about. The most recent was I remember of you, voicing your thing at the Olympics. Could you tell us a little bit about that one few hours before you actually start? Not over, when I shout and I raise my voice, not, but darsi gora gyamni, I can't do it anymore. So how do you all maintain whatever you all, compose kinsu khatsi khande kam de tu do, still doing what you do? Tell us a bit about what goes on in your mind before you actually shout slogans and authorities are going to pull you and take you away. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Um, Generally, so to speak briefly about two things that I do, or two experiences. One is generally for me, before any of these larger movements, is reminding myself of why we do this in the first place. Thinking about the Tibetans inside of Tibet, thinking about, for me, it's my parents. My dad, during his last birthday, he was like, "Ma phola dro shawl and melam
Oh,
gas." He's never seen Tibet himself, and that is a dream that many of our older generations have. And for me, even that activation when I was really young was when I did a political theater for SFT, and we were doing protests. It was a political theater, so you're acting to be a Tibetan inside of Tibet protesting, and somebody is beating you up. And then when that moment was happening at the front seats, or like the grounds, there's always the Bobo Momala, the seniors, and all of their emotions, they're all crying like, and I think seeing that made me realize, this is the only generation that has seen Tibet, that has touched the soil of Tibet, and we've been denied of that, of our right to be in our homeland, and knowing that they might not be able to go back home within their lifetime, and what that means for us in terms of our responsibility. I think that was my activation. I was about 13 or so when I did that political theater.
wow.
I was always aware of the Tibetan identity, but that was like a big moment of activation for me, because it's every time I see Bobo Momalas, I think about how they left Tibet thinking they were going to return in a week. Some even had keys that they, like they hid all of their treasures thinking they would come back, right? And they haven't. So this I think that gives me the simshu to do whatever it needs to be done at that time. I just usually do a quick breathing exercise before, though, to calm myself down, because I still get nervous. That's that. But Olympic Kabla, I think there was a specific video during the Oslo Freedom Forum. I think I played it at the first, because that was the video of 2006 when people were getting shot as they were passing the border. That video has been stuck in my head for so long, and especially during Olympics, just moments before I got out of the bush, that video kept playing in my head for some reason. Because maybe it was because it was also a hill type, and it was like, we don't know what could happen the moment we jumped out, because there's all securities, Gami officials, like the senior officials were there, so all of their security guards were there, and we saw all of them walk in. So we knew that the moment we walked out, we don't know what would happen in terms of what they would do. And yeah, that video kept playing in my head, and then I think the voice really came from there about all of the people, because I didn't realize how loud I was.
You were loud and clear, and it made it to the global news. And we want, on behalf of everybody today, I want to thank people like you who, just go out and about the kari in the keranzugi, part of your work in that, part of your what karina da kranzo susu tüsüttünçe you are going there and nganzo mi kyoma Tibetans who are basically just on the 9 to 5 lega chichidogala. The only time we can actually dedicate is March 10th at the kapsula, but you guys do it on a regular basis, and that's amazing, Shimi. Keep it up. Now, no filter style la tiwachi indra. Because
Yeah.
kara di lega dende chigiyorwa lega tando chinayang 삼삼 속담 쓰이래. 삼삼 계란절로 둑잘라니 갑도 계기래. What is the criticism you've ever received as an activist as an activist? 계란기 내가 진도라 단다부터 계란라 지금 눈두등이 중요해. 중요나 가리도 what was the 눈두 that people have ever accused you of or like given you blamed you for?
I think these are a little bit more general, but generally it's about the chunjuna, and I think it's valid because
Yeah.
get on get on taxi chigu namjundu so tanda
Yeah.
joshin bare mutune chayis. That's that, and then I think also this is funny because within our community, I've actually had a lot of people from a young age, since I was about 19, people saying, "Oh, just go elsewhere and do it. You have so much potential. So go and page such a shambala the yargetang ani nyamyusa and shula nganjutala, you know, show." And I think that's actually a very weird concept. You know, for people with potential, that's why whenever I meet young people, I say, don't wait until you're, you know, at a high status to give back. You can always give back. You know, it's not like my conditions are amazing right now. I'm doing the lega nga shamba chiyo, lega chiyo, you know, and even with that, I think I've been able to contribute in whatever ways I've been able to, and I think everybody can. So this concept of thangbo lobjongchi ani legaga ani pesha yagusa ani shula ani kiran de chizola like china digire thanda kiran de kola samantang susu career kola samantang susu pama kola samantang, and this is like guilt tripping almost, you know. It's like mama jeke pama la lega chi, and I'm like, I'm sorry palamla. I go to Greece.
And I want to show viewers a picture of Chimlamo's pala here, you know. Oh, pala style you know, so they love a show like Chimi. Now that you've said your family has supported you a lot, right? I have a special video message from your pala himself. And let's hear what pala has to say, okay? Chimi ye pala gi karising. Oh, it's so cute. Check the last message out, huh?
Thank you, my dear Jimmy Lamona. We are so very proud of you. Love you.
The last message is the cutest, you know. He still had to like be cool, and then kirangi generation lama duksleche he left. That's surgi chiugi ke mangu tepe he said that kiran nangla yodo gola koran setu masong, so he had to hide and make it. So everybody, this was Chimilama's pala, and I want to say thank you nimala kirando pama tang pumo changmala yowa shos la ngemelam de ye pawachigi susu pomo la puta pomo para la yewa mache pomo ine de dosho laglen tarsho kari chiwa ina nganju gabla years kirando opala peba pomo peme suinata changmala yowa shola ngemelam de ye tuji che. I mean, because of parents like you, we have youngsters like Chimilamu who is so passionate about our country. So yeah, Palala though, it always makes me emotional because I don't have my dad, and it's just kinds of like pe kale thaku chagido, and what do you have to say about the video, Chimi? Are you surprised?
I'm very surprised because Paula's always like, "Chumi, Facebook, Facebook." So we spend a lot of time together.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
does a lot of Facebook updates, and he's always like,
Oh, so cute.
around. So I'm surprised, and that day so then it's funny because I didn't realize I left early, so I guess he got a chance to record the video when
Yeah,
I left
I
early.
also want to show viewers like how Chimi's upbringing was as a young girl, like Chimi cannot dimba. This is this is
Uh-oh.
you, right?
Yes.
You're rocking the red right now. Then you Jordan.
Oh,
Di kawa belu ko pila is red.
no, that's probably Uti. Uti, like
Ah,
we were
Utila.
going to.
Yeah.
Pala was a
Pala
very
always
fun
has
dad.
this, huh? Pala always has this, right?
Yeah.
All the Tibetan Palas have this. That's cute.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about this moment because this really made me emotional. This made me emotional because I've also had a moment like this.
Mm.
So when was this? And yeah, just tell a bit about this moment.
Uh, the 2019 Global Youth Icon Kaje time
Yeah.
we were supposed to get a chance to meet His Holiness, but it actually got cancelled, and then I was very sad about it. But somehow the regular way of getting sort of an audience, which is sign up chair
Beautiful.
the chair, so I did that, and then somehow I got in, and I
Exchange.
couldn't express anything
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
again that same time when I was there was a lot of seniors,
Yeah.
and first and foremost His Holiness addressed the seniors, and they all took a group photo together, and then seeing that with His Holiness, I was done. I couldn't anymore, because that
Legit.
same moment, from that activation moment, I told the
Yeah.
I saw them, and then all of the seniors' faces when they got the chance to meet His Holiness,
Yeah.
there was almost like this feeling
Yeah.
that they had,
Yeah.
and I saw it live happen, and I was
Do
like,
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
and nothing came out. I was like, I need a napkin, yeah, to like.
That's true to me. Adi mune kongi presence korang la power manda wacho. But that was beautiful. But what's going on here? What is going on
This is
here?
combo pomo.
Kongpo
Oh
pomoche.
God.
Any Chimi, you look so different. I know you different the Tongare because you've grown up. But would you still wear this anytime now and carry
Oh,
this
why not?
look?
Yeah.
Okay, black dress
As a
and the
older,
yeah.
I I'm
So,
glow wise. I'm always like, yeah, me. I feel what
no,
I
I
feel, and
really
I wear.
like your style. I like the fact that you cut your hair, this mandawa. This was at the recent Oslo dirwa and the freedom meet
Freedom,
dilarwa. And the
baby.
Nanglola, you just gave such a powerful speech. Oh, you met Enes Kanter too.
Yeah, we
Ah.
work together multiple times to make
Oh,
sure that
that's
he comes in
wonderful.
Tibetan outreach.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's really wonderful. And this was everybody who's watching us. Chimilamo's Instagram has a video of the powerful speech she gave, and of course, this is her father. Now coming back to Chimi, I want to ask you a little bit of a question that of course, this looks like it's someone sent by someone who uh, does not really appreciate your work, but this is a question sent by a viewer who says that. You have a really nice image of a political activist, but there were rumors that you had once dated a singer and caused a singer's breakup with his current relationship. Right? Now the viewers, and you were trolled for that as well. I believe you had received a lot of hate messages. They want to know if that was true. That did you ever get involved? Peba, involved chache korangi garonyam the katye and they need you chung. They really want to know that now. That's a question a bit different, Risha, from all the questions we had. However, because this is no filter, and so here you go.
Yeah. Um, it's funny because we live in a world where if you're publicly active, then there's always rumors and stories. You mean I mean, just to make things clear, I haven't been in a relationship for more than 4 years.
Oh my God. 4 years, no
Four,
relationship?
no,
Shimmy,
I
interesting.
it's kind of, I generally work 7 days a week. I work 2 different jobs, and I've also been going through school. So I just graduated a couple years ago, but even then, I still work multiple jobs. I think I've always
Okay.
worked multiple jobs. And the guys that I sort of romantically involved with, I think before I was
Magic.
21.
Oh, you said
21, it was
romantically.
like,
I heard magically. I don't know why I
oh
said
no,
that.
no. It was just like, bacha
Yeah.
dating type, ngakaidu type, very I don't think it was as serious, because I was a bit like less than 21 or 20, so it's like teenage years love. And then after
Yeah.
that, I haven't dated for a very long time. So
So
maybe
technically,
that
now
opens up.
the people who thought that Chimilamo was involved with the Tibetan singer, we don't want to name the Tibetan singer because it's not fair, right? So the Chimilamo rumor, everybody has a rumor. Ngalata rumor, and there will be a time when if I have to clear it out, I'll clear it out. But abhi mere bare mein nahi, aapke bare mein hai. So those people who have accused Chimilamo of dating a Tibetan singer and causing her breakup with her, the Tibetan singer's ninja relationship, and Morangi Thandarangsung, so that it never happened. She's been single for the past 4 years, which means Morang, the single relations, all the boys in the house, अगर आपको चिमिलामो को message भेजना है तो raise your hands up. नहीं लस चिमिलामो, no लस. So which is a no. Girl, you know lasana no da. That's a great answer to me. Thank you so much for answering that. Now I have a little bit more serious question to ask you. Chimi, 먼저 기 단다 current political situation 도a 베베기 단다기 내당디. 오늘 지난 먼저 전주는 게 시든지 인데 신앙소 차고 차기요 말해라. We have a government in exile because we want everything, to cater to the needs of the Tibetans. Right? Hine ngaran soge pebeki tandagi sidene dangde pesemake wo chadesha, where ngaran soge political leaders tang shung da dendegi dodang da kat obviously nganzo nundu yo lag nganzo democracy di yorwa ko dodang chikdowa tanda chikla yala tsuya do dang mambek chia do dang WhatsApp na la video crop chin tang ya do dang di kang la kirangi. Do you think, because you know more about politics than most people as politics kang la chikirangi, I'm not talking about politics and the subject itself, you're very inclined to it because you have studied it as well, kirang manzuro sideng 통이여 마도 kirang sideng ting sabo go chuyo wallob jung de chi yo zang kirang samjula is this okay, is this fair? If no, yes, 가리는 기랑기 즉 도당데 즉 먼저 시도인들 누가 한댔당 또 just something 기랑기 있어서 opinion 즉 말한테 로충아 소이나래 gemba 소이나 단데 스네트라 즉 if we can say something about this.
Nengi something earlier, if we have diverse opinions, ni ganga samutang da manda yore ni tida beta demba using logic and proof and evidence to be able to prove your argument. It's good to have
Diverse
disagreements and
opinions.
diverse opinions because we're all different, And so
Yep.
we're both what you like to eat. I mean, actually, I also love golgappas. You mean we have, there's different, we have different tastes, and so even between my siblings and I, we have different tastes. So it's bound to happen, and I think it's good to have those diverse opinions. You mean when we come to a point where we affect our unity, our main purpose in life or goal as a movement, I think it's very challenging to go forward. You have to go back to your intentions and motivations. Like Nangchule, it's all about your kulung, right? There's so much emphasis on kulung. Kachin it is, because you have to go back to the drawing board. Why did we do this in the first place? Why are we struggling in exile? Why are a lot of nganzu peba central jaga down Nepal cholia chike joya khachini thaplam chiwo kaduine because jagala ne dang khachamo khacha ya ko yebi ne ke there's a glass ceiling. You can't go beyond that. You can't own land. You can't vote. Like for your own government in the sense where there's money flowing nonstop. We have a central government, yes, and that's what we have because of His Holiness, because of our ancestors that worked really hard. And now we can't. Toshi Tangshing, the only thing we have.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
Then, but
I think it's important.
you are speaking exactly. Nganzugi namgyuni nima takparishi ngaranzo shoging awul langdogala. The first thing nganzo 가르치기를 nganzo kabartagiyo wa. Kabarta shugdo. Kabartado wala kadu yinyang 직직냠도 지냐도 아니 단다기 current government la 카당야 이나레 니마기 슝라 카당야 이나레 카당도 갈라야 지그 solution 매버체 그 solution 되게 개초보다 년주다 동다망부 된시기로 나란도 창막이 꿀레 겹체 계시 갈라 오래 강이 즉 세토비아기 나도 창말을 미바 유열했음 그 롭중면하다 시작하라이네레 치게 하라이네 이때 개춘부도 아니 니기 치니 I think 침남은 계란기 단다 계란기 남균이 지겨지요 봐 된체 태가 겸이다 딘딘님도 갑들자야네레 치기기 기시가 그냥 gamar 슝라 직겹겨 치기나 코란줄라 계적상만 나고 있는데 닌주킨주기 꿀리 겹디 할레와 펜토부도 이 계란 단다 엔데 컬러래 로충아 망불라 셈슈파르기도 푹라 have you ever thought 계란 치디다 and the sikong and the langayagi kelang gi samlo do bachile niwe I know the and manzum thanda bado pepe peme sikong chmoyo marta so can you have your potential candidates chimi so have you ever thought of manzu pepe gi chikalore 당보 sikong 말령 wala 당보 치디 do bachile langayagi kina mi yebe
me lanata I think because nga nangche jaya ki teba shiraya so I always try to practice impermanence metapa qualia samataya ki chige so it's important to plan ahead but not necessarily a specific role political aspirations nigi samtunalia so it really depends on the people if people want and see potential in an individual to carry the movement then why not so not specifically, but also to be realistic, because the election you have to be 25 to run for election. I was not 25 then. I mean, for Sikyong and Kalu and all, there's 35 and 40 age limits here. So I think it's a little bit further from now. I've still got at least 10 years left. So until then, I would love to actually work on how to become a better leader, and if it's even possible, and work on my skills, learning about Tibetan history, language, on how I can better contribute to the Tibetan community.
If people who follow Chimi Lamo, if you follow her, she's very, very involved in learning Buddhism at present. And please continue. Sorry to cut you off.
No, so it's just that depending on the time, because timing is very important in terms of global politics. If the people believe that there is an individual out there that is capable of taking on the movement, I think it's worth investing in. But I also know that there's so many other young Pebas right now who are capable, more smarter, more hardworking than I am, that are worth becoming the next Sikyong, the next Chitu. And right now also as the Chitu tang kanjumanju yore the gangalia namjundu gyapyo che the package botongudu.
And we also need good leaders who would represent us. And Chitu kadang around zone yapo mangbo do the parliament nangrola chungwaina turn the dewa yo 시작하라 강에 태야다 덴덴네 주다 나란서 벽이 된다 간데세고 덴덴만도 WeChat라 가래라서 WhatsApp라 가래라서 덴데기 parliamentarian 기 topic 마치로 나올라는 알아 비기시야이 so chimilamo because you are someone who is right now training yourself so well and you know nen주 창망 알아서 미망기 막아서 아니 문내기 된다 대화 얘기 된 가서 대화 얘기 된다 창막이랑 캥기 예상 폭락이랑 먼저를 lead 지바이나 I think you would lead us I think in a good way I feel
I'm honored thank you one news I have
Yes.
actually for
Yes.
think I said that
Oh my God, it's a no
so
filter
it's
display.
no filter.
Oh, yay. Okay, everybody, drum roll.
um
Chimilam is going to make an announcement. She has not made an announcement before anywhere. Happening or no filter. Tanda, yes, Chimilam.
네, ngaran so Toronto Sunday ki shung yorwa tile ya nga laya ki chachi tingde.
Oh my God, that's great news. Oh my God. When you say Sunny
So
Shungi, kari position chedu.
city, like our city council, district council, they
Oh my God, Chimi, that is amazing news. And peba that tanda kisi Toronto mimang singe yona Chimi lamu getting news sabu je. Kerando yang gab lo koi girina directly from the horse's mouth. Chimi lamu Toronto Toronto gi shung yorwa. Ondi nanglo city council ki position che to mothering election na nangya resha. Dechini kadu go tsuya ina kerando peba ta changma ta yimba che. 아니 샤도쇼라 토론토 기ranzo 인지다 근데 워싱턴에 루이야기 뭐랑라 갑견나로나 we need some Tibetan rep. We have Putila Karpuche and then now Chimilamo we need someone like you to go up there. Kiran personal life
I'll
langlola
try.
kiran lochunjure kiran sulaga우 치나이데 kiran sulaga우 마치나데 디 케친 뭐 말에 저디 kiran 베베네스 제도 가지 지도 그래 디 배문에 Chimi you are setting a lot of youngsters are watching you, yeah? So a lot of youngsters like you. Um, we really hope that you are going to be a leader who is not involved in the dirty politics that we currently have. We look up to leaders and we want people like you, the youngsters, to clean up this mess. Right? And kira tanda tanda yore kira pe jongdar mangbo chintu pege yarge tangudu gerap kola jangudu nangsho kola jangudu nganzo kira sikyong chachabudu nga digi na mena but achagi rewa khari yorlana. I really want a woman to lead us in the future. And Kira,
Yeah,
I look up to you for that. Yeah. Uh, it took me time to get to know you. There were a couple of on and off moments. I'm not going to lie. Telling no filter na aja khasang buchin lagyo. There were times when I doubted your ability. There were times when I thought that your activism was selective. But I'm going to take all my word back today, life la, and say that if there's a woman leader that needs to go up there, it's going to be young leaders like you. So I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart, Chini Raja.
thank you.
And Kalemangs Kabranang, Kerang leaders, yeah, just leaders, women leaders who are clean, pure lan khandisla tanga lathung thandari nedang na shimebache.
Yeah,
We all
but
look
it's
up to you.
hard to do that. Yeah, I think the
Hakure,
power corrupts a lot of people, and
yeah,
for me, I think that's been helpful because I don't have power yet.
yeah,
So
yeah,
then it's easy to be the activist. It's not easy, but
yeah,
easier than
yeah,
being in power and then having all these other people that say you have to do this, you have to do that. Right now, I don't listen to anybody. I say, oh, I
yeah.
think this is important. I'm gonna go do it. Nobody
Did
can tell
get
me anything, and nobody pays me. Right, none of it is paid, right? So they think of me, nobody can say you're my staff, do this.
Yeah,
So teaching another this, I'm able to
Hakure,
navigate all that. But that comes at a cost of sagang like a need pocket money that I need to but later on when it becomes my job then it's very hard I think, and that's what happens when other young or even greater leaders are in those positions. The power and the position corrupts a lot of people,
but
and
then
I
Kiran
hope
tanda
that
sumi ba
doesn't
Kiran
happen.
Toronto shungla ki position na lang ya. The city council cha wane Kiran pujila ka buche nangshin Kiran la pebe ki ne ji ko la yang na yang kimi ke chimbo para la la ya ko ga bra ba. Di ge je ge nge Kiran peju tang gi da sang di ding ja. So Kiran tanda ba de nang de
Sana ko
yore
taba chiba
Kiran
kin
di
juriyo.
ta Kiran ta kwa su chuba kon do and the pebe ni tu khadu she ko ge ko ga bra wa ina. I mean, I'm not undermining what we're doing right now. Of course, san nima la gemi shumsab go gyagyo gi legung din la kembe gyapki yore nganzo ninje dende hopeful yore ra. The kiran dawla to kogabya yore jela phug la ki city council chawaina kogabya yore kiran changma di yore that kiran peju tangir sumdo. Tanga second last round nganzo ki thanda but interview din nanglo la I think thering gi lo shamba so hal never inspired chag gi sam gido gemba choine kiran zo poatone tulele shurona nganzo ki shunge dende yakpo yona 사람들로 심리치 치고 말했으니까 이니만 no filter 균이 라비아기가 되는 고갑도 심기 아 난줄로 딱 video chick special yang gyo chite ai ngi ngarang gi live audience tinga join chi chen ra video di number so thanda phogla yang di khra no filter la phegi de khra kala wora doctor la na member doctor la ma de lobjung chi sha gyo phd chi sha gyo gi he is one of the kala wora tang aran so gi mariko nangshin transgender chikre tenzin mingyur la chimila mo you worked with Mingyur in the past during Machik event. And Mingyur has a message for you. Yesterday nga Koranyamdo event chigla lagat shibayin. And in number two tangma, this is Dr. Tenzin Mingyur who has to say something about Shimilamo.
Hi, Lhamo. It's so nice to see you. I will be watching you. And I just wanted to say that just one thing that I recall when I'm around you and when I see you is really two words. Is your strength, and I would say like power, really, and also poise. You have such poise, and it always comes through in very supportive ways for people or for the cause that you're there for. So thank you so much.
That was Dr. Mingyur. Shimi, were you surprised?
Yeah, that's such a pleasant surprise. You know,
Yes.
while growing up, I seen Mingila in spaces, and
Mhm.
I looked up to him in terms of how articulate he is. And I would say, you know, as I continue to grow, I want to become more articulate, become
More
like him. I
articulate.
want these qualities,
Get.
and it's very meaningful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you. That means a lot. And thank you,
All
Mingyu, if
right.
you're watching.
I'm
Lots of
gonna
love.
I'm gonna send this video clip to Dr. Mingyur. Now we're going to have our live viewer. Let me just type her name because she was selected out of the many people who wanted to leave you a voice message. Moral Pomolo Chinji Shigresha, and she looks up to you. Here we go. I've sent her an invite. If she doesn't join, then there are more people who wants to right now ask you a question directly. Oh, here we go. Hello, Tsiroga.
Tesle.
Okay. Yeah, so quickly, Chimilamula,
Tesle Aziz Khandla. Tesle Asimlamla. Tesle. So, my sorry. Introduction changes tena ngarang ming latsi doga ani ngarang tanda Delhi University la Bachelor in Commerce third year la igi jangi. Along with that, I am a chartered accounting student. Ngarang tanda chartered accounting sure la chidi. Ani so firstly, Adichimlamla, you have been inspiring me in so many different ways. Like whenever I see your video, you struggling for the movement of Free Tibet, like it makes me so emotional. I cry for change. I cry for like betterment of my future. Me personally, being from Nepal, we don't have this opportunity to, go and raise our voice for, freedom, for, raise our voice for Free Tibet. But I believe whatever career path we choose today, personally I choose today, will contribute for the betterment of Free Tibet, right? So whatever career path I choose today, like it will help or it will contribute for my own country, Tibet. Sorry for the voice. The question I would like to ask you is, what is the best advice you can give to the younger generation who is struggling for their own career path, who is struggling for Free Tibet movement? Whatever advice, like what is the best advice you can give to the younger generation?
Oh my God, Siroga, amazing question.
Yeah,
First of all,
thank
Siroga,
you.
Chimlamo, I mean, you got us all emotional. Kirangi, angantu changma kiran lava demba re kiran tanda lungba yosa de ningje angantu openly kimbe gyap thugi yo mare thandu kiran logo dende keche kiran dela duksile tiwakko Chimlamula. What do you have to say about that question? And of course, Siroga's emotional right now.
The Tomandele, Tirola Tujena, Jra Nam Jun the Lobjon, but Tamlam Chair, and Kalogona, Yargetaya, the Unetane. I think it's worth recognition. So thank you. Sending you lots of love for
Yes.
everything that you are doing. Every day is a fight. You know, we have extra responsibility, but even just being a human in this world is challenging. You know,
That's
every
true.
day waking up sometimes is a challenge. And so you're doing that. Not only that, you're thinking about everybody else in our movement.
Yes.
And so I think it takes a lot to do that. And you're very powerful, and I want to send you lots of love. In terms of advice, I don't know if it's necessarily the best advice, but something that has helped me is knowing who I am. Asking the questions, you know, who am I and how do I define myself and my people? Sometimes I defined my people when I was younger as just my family. Now, for me, my people is my community. And my community can be the Tibetan community. But now, as I think about all these other aspirations, now I'm thinking about the larger community, right? Not just the Pepper community, it's all of the working class for me. It's like all the women, specifically now in Ari with this abortion laws. You know, I'm thinking about all the other women that will not be able to access healthcare. Here in Toronto, we have a lot of homeless people. And Toronto is one of the richest areas in the world, and still people have, you know, they freeze to death in the wintertime because they don't have access to shelters. So, you know, this concept of my people only comes when you know who you are. And so I think,
Yeah.
you know, you have to know who you are, and it always changes. So don't ever feel like this is me, that's only how it is. As long as you keep reflecting with yourself of who you are, I think it will drive you in the right direction. And as you said, Siroga, you already have all the answers. You know,
Yeah.
you already know that whatever you're doing is for the betterment of X, Y, and Z entities, and you're doing it. So I think just keep going and know that you're never alone.
Yes.
Aja is with you, Aja Chimi is with
Yeah.
you,
We're
everybody,
all with
Popo
you. Yeah.
Momolas, everybody. I go travel and I see Popo Momolas. I've never seen them. So for example, this randomly one Popo like stopped me and said, Chimi, I ordered a tunga for you.
Oh.
And he gave me this in the middle of the street, you know, and that means a lot because that means that Pupa Mamalas are praying for the well-being of us. They think that we're going to carry on their fight and our fight. And so in order to do that, we need to know who we are as Tibetans, as women, as humans, as just global citizens of this world. And then
Yeah.
our responsibility will come.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Tsiroga. And
Thank you, Acha.
yeah, kerangune mutuni kule gabrana lobjung yakbo chirona kerangi tanda tiwadi hal leva jigo do ta di tiwadi kerang lochunga chimlamo nangsing ani tanda anzu puglaing anzu guest mangbo peyudwa kari the feel line nere kerang nanda chartered accountant lobjung jangyors chimlamo pugla city council chedo langya suinete nganzo housewife inada who namgyu uses virtual online la kisi social media page nganzo changmal susu lenge chunchu yorra. So everybody is responsible for the cause in their own way. The simshukti give up chehul simshu chaya mindu. Just stay positive and then yeah, keep rocking that Delhi University look jumkina top right on some million jagi in that. Okay. Thank you, Tirava, for coming
Tichina.
live with us. Take care. Yeah.
Thank
I'll
you.
see
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank
Okay, that
you.
was our beautiful virtual guest who is a huge fan of Chimilamo. And so Chimilamo, we've come to the end of our show today. Did you enjoy these questions?
Oh yeah,
You
thank you
did,
so
right?
much. Messages
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
I want to do a special shout out to you and thank you for bringing me on the show, but also giving me this
Thank you.
opportunity, but also just entertaining everybody during the pandemic. I think, you know,
Thank you.
I actually did psychology and neuroscience for school. So, you know, we know that in the West, actually, loneliness is the highest cause of death. That is equivalent to like
Yeah.
alcohol and suicide.
Yeah.
So loneliness actually has, you know, become much worse during the pandemic. Everybody's in busier streets. We feel more alone,
That's
and
true.
I think your show has given a lot of people that closure and company
Oh,
when they felt
thank you.
alone. And so I think it means a lot, and I want to thank you for that.
Thank you, Chimi.
Yeah,
That's
that's
because from one woman to another, a woman especially who understands women's the mental health in a Karine. I was going through a postpartum depression after having my second child when I was doing the No Filter show, And, with all that crazy rumors and trolling that I went through, nights were crazy, a child crying, and me going through postpartum and still wanting to entertain the people because I understand, like you were saying, loneliness, right? But I think likewise, ngala impe pen to song, this show di chito gala, ngala pe busy sha song, and shato show lang zo peba suine and kawa lungba kawa la they were, enjoying the show because, anzo, it was entertaining, it was keeping us busy. So I'm grateful to every viewer telling the show through me, and Chimilamo, you bringing this up because you're probably the first person who mentioned this in this whole series of seasons I've done that about loneliness, which is absolutely correct. Ani I that kirando samlo positive tangi chik manzula lead chair future line Toronto gi kanda shungla kisi kiran thoba yi ganza pewa ye ani
It'll
kiran
be hard.
khari lege kiran pala gi sungma shin kiran khari peden tola legu pewa ina manzu gacha ga kiran la gap yo chigi ruba and tharingi simasinge mangche simshu parga rangle che tektani yore kajin we've had interviews where we did nothing but entertainment da she the dinti kapsula yang koran viewers yore na tharingi di interview pe intense chayre kajin din ala lokchung dan jongda ra mangbu kogo rayo re tharingi interview na masala shushu rayo mar nge di gaje ga hakwe da tiwachik dile sa rumor kola di masala tisle ra ina di jela masala me ba chai ne unne ki tharingi interview na lo mimangso simshu paryo wa na chimilamula follow nang ro nang morangi legu kharipe wa na morang Instagram na lugire and leave her a message after the show and let her know how you felt. So thank you, Chimi, once again for joining us live and
Thank
continue
you.
working hard. And let
One
us know
request.
if you, yeah.
Sorry. I also wanted to say with the Gyabjor, with the support, I would also appreciate any constructive criticism.
Yes.
I also want to grow and learn, and I understand that I'm not nowhere close to perfect. And so when I do take on projects or anything that I'm taking on, I love a discussion and a debate. So you come at me with constructive criticism of how we can do better.
Criticism.
Yeah.
Constructive,
Yeah. Debate.
Not like I don't like your hair and I don't like what you're wearing.
Oh yeah, I get a lot of comments about that.
Constructive criticism na chimla mo kirang gilegu di pe dogala di dik maso or maybe di chidang tis loga chiro na or chimla mo thanda di phugla kirang legu jik pe dogala kuchi ngaran so gi dinde jik ya toks tinjagala ya tangro na constructive criticism, mere viewers look nothing to do with what you have to wear and all, not all of that, okay? So thank you, Chimi. We love you.
So much. Lots of love.
Keep motivating, keep inspiring. Love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, everybody. This is Chimi Lama signing off. Bye, Chimi. Take care.
Bye. Thank you, everybody. Lots of
all right. The No Filter show Number two, if you today's in No Filter Nanglola we mix the languages because there were some things that we had to let the other communities know. So on the pege nang gamme engineer guy in teringi interview nang kirando same shoot par na any message Sharona, let me know, let her know. How did you feel? Hello, telling sim shupani, Tadara you la Omadaya, Gemigi, Dr. Chatulo. Mutuni, Pugla, Kari Legupe, social media Gitruni in a de, Kimbi Gagadoni in a de, Karina positive tone, Chirochi, Chikchikla Nundu Maturana, me patched into Kari chicken or Susun when a Karichi would do. This samlotangshe leguperanang lobchongla chindo meba ina shemba khari feel like ranzo yarge tangye chunang muthini shabda shola pebegi ne jugola samlotangye tangi dorona. So I hope everyone loved today's show. I loved it personally. So nye yangyo like No Filter is not going to be any more about viewers. It's going to be about inspiring and motivating. So thank you all for watching us today. I will put this video on YouTube. Once again, no permission to post these videos on the other people's channel. I'm not monetizing my channel or anything, but I just want these videos on my channel. So thank you all. Love you guys. Take care.